Your brain breaks every financial promise you make. Here is why. Alex is a 36-year-old financial analyst in Charlotte, North Carolina. He earns $105,000 a year. He builds forecasting models for a living. He knows compound interest, the way a chef knows salt. And yet, last month, $800 vanished. Not to bills. Not to emergencies. To purchases he barely remembers making. 3 late-night Amazon orders. 2. I have earned this dinners. 1 Uber Eats at a leave and pay. On a Tuesday. Alex is not bad with money. His brain is running a different program than his budget. There is a neural circuit that controls whether your financial commitments stick or silently collapse. And by the end of this video, you will see exactly where yours is breaking, and the one money psychology reset that closes the gap. But first, here is what brain imaging actually reveals. The moment you make a financial promise to yourself, when you set a budget or promise yourself, you will stop impulse buying. Your prefrontal cortex lights up. That is the planning region. It feels productive. It feels like change. But a team at University College London found that the brain treats planning and doing as 2 separate reward events. Your brain gets a small dopamine hit just from making the plan, which means, and this is the problem, your brain already feels like it accomplished something before you have done anything at all. Behavioral economists call this the intention-action gap. The American Psychological Association's Stress in America survey consistently ranks money as the #1 stressor for American adults. Yet most people respond to that stress by making more plans, not by changing the underlying circuit. This is where money psychology gets uncomfortable. The issue is not information. It is not willpower. It is architecture. Your brain has a commitment circuit, a loop connecting 3 regions. The prefrontal cortex for planning, the anterior cingulate cortex for conflict monitoring, and the basal ganglia for habit execution. When all 3 fire in sequence, commitments stick. When anyone breaks, money leaks. Silently. Predictably. Monthly. Ever wonder why your budget works perfectly fine on Monday and completely falls apart by Friday night? That is break 1 of the commitment circuit. Researcher Philippa Lally at University College London found that a new behavior takes an average of 66 days to become automatic, not 21, like the old myth says. Most budgets die within 9 days. Your prefrontal cortex drafted the plan, but your basal ganglia, the habit center, never encoded it. The budget exists on paper. It does not exist in your neural wiring. It is a phantom. Now add break 2, the 9P. Override. Alex's worst financial decisions happen after 9 at night. That is not coincidence. Research published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology shows that executive function, your brain's ability to say no, drops significantly as the day wears on. By late evening, your prefrontal cortex is essentially clocking out. Your limbic system, the emotional, impulsive brain, takes the wheel. Alex opened Amazon at 10:47 on a Tuesday night. Not to buy anything specific, just to browse. But his dopamine system does not distinguish between browsing and hunting. The anticipation of a potential reward triggered the same neural pathway that lights up in a slot machine player. 3 items in cart. Purchase confirmed. Dopamine delivered. Regret arrives in the morning, when the prefrontal cortex is back online. Alex thought he had finally fixed his spending. Then his neighbor got a new backyard, and his amygdala had other plans. This is break 3, the identity gap. When Alex got promoted last year, his spending behavior shifted within 6 weeks. Not because he sat down and decided to spend more, because his basal ganglia, which encodes identity-linked habits, registered a new status: senior analyst, higher earner. The car lease quietly upgraded from a Civic to an Accord. The restaurant choices shifted. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman's research on reference points explains this precisely. We do not evaluate spending in absolute terms. We evaluate it relative to who we believe we are. New title, new reference point, new spending floor. The raise disappeared before a single dollar reached savings. And then, break 4. The status alarm. Alex's neighbor installed a full backyard renovation: stone, patio, outdoor kitchen, string lights. Within 2 weeks, Alex was pricing contractors. He did not need a new backyard, but his amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, processed that visible upgrade as a status gap. Behavioral scientists call this positional spending. A Federal Reserve study on household expenditure found that when neighbors receive a visible income boost, surrounding households increase their own spending by an average of measurable amounts, even without any change in their own income. Your brain reads your neighbor's new car as your loss. Here is the number that should bother you. The average American household loses thousands per year to a single cognitive bias, and most financial advisors never mention it. That bias is mental accounting, a term coined by Richard Thaler, the University of Chicago economist who won the Nobel Prize for it. Alex and his wife set a $200 monthly food budget. Reasonable, specific, but they mentally exempted Starbucks, Uber Eats, date night, 3 separate mental wallets, none of which counted against the food budget. Total untracked food spending, $340 per month. Their anterior cingulate cortex, the brain's conflict monitor, never flagged the contradiction because each category felt like a different account. So, here is the real question in money psychology. If your commitment circuit has 4 breakpoints, where does the repair start? Not with a new app. Not with a stricter budget. With one habit: the commitment audit. Every Sunday, 10 minutes. 3 questions. What did I plan to spend this week? What did I actually spend? Where did the gap happen? And which break caused it? Was it a phantom budget that was never encoded into routine? A late-night override when your prefrontal cortex was offline? An identity-driven upgrade you did not consciously choose? A status alarm triggered by someone else's purchase? When you name the break, you take it from unconscious pattern to conscious awareness. And that single shift, pattern recognition, is what allows the anterior cingulate cortex to finally do its job. Flag the conflict before the spending happens, not after. If you have ever made a budget, believed in it completely, and still watched it collapse within 2 weeks, now you know. It was never about discipline. It was about circuitry. Tonight, before you open any shopping app, set a 10-second pause. Ask yourself one question: which part of my commitment circuit is talking right now? Is it my prefrontal cortex making a real decision? Or is it my limbic system chasing a dopamine hit because the day was long? 10 seconds. That is all it takes to give your anterior cingulate cortex enough time to flag the conflict. Send this to someone who always says, "I do not know where my money goes." They are not careless. Their commitment circuit just has a break they have not found yet. In the next video, I will break down the 5 cognitive biases that make you overpay for everything, and how stores, restaurants, and subscription services engineer them into your spending behavior. Your brain will not see them coming. But after that video, it will.